Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Flip. This is a special edition version of the Smart Flip. So we're pulling this one directly from our Resellerator coaching calls. This one specifically is Aaron Goldstein teaching about Google Leads and teaching about negotiation. There will be parts of this video that are blurred, but it's better to listen to it anyway, just due to the phone numbers and things like that. Things obviously YouTube doesn't want us to share. And for those of you that are just now listening to the podcast, feel free to back up a few episodes, get a feel of the podcast. This one is going to be straight value. There's no guest. This is just straight from our Resellerator coaching program, our mentorship and scaling thing. So, and then if you are interested in something like that and you want to be on these calls, let me know. Feel free to reach out to me. We can talk about it. But if this is your first time listening, make sure to check out the Tech Flips to Profit ebook on episode 11 of the podcast. And without saying any further, feel free, just go ahead and enjoy this because Aaron brings the power when it comes to these videos that he does every single week. So hope you guys enjoy it and let me know what you think.
I don't, then everybody else reminds me.
That's right. Hi, what's going on, guys? Good to see you guys here. I have an iPad Pro 6th Gen. Any issues with it? So good to see you guys here. So let's get right into it. We got Chris S., Chris Utter, Hutsy the Goat, George KR. So this is, of course, the negotiating call. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over some negotiating stuff. And before we do, though, I just want to share a little update where
What?
want to share an update of the power of getting free leads on Google. And this is what we talked about before with, I don't even like talking about it just in case anyone in my area is listening, but they're not. Just the importance of getting those reviews on Google and the power that that has. So I went away on a trip a few days ago and I turned off my Google ads for the few days I was on the trip. So that means all the leads I were getting was free from Google. Does anyone want to take a guess on how many leads I was averaging a day for free?
6.
About 10.
Dang. That's pretty impressive. Damn.
About 10.
That's good. Yeah. I probably get 5 to 6 a day phone calls for me, though. Like, that's always phone calls a lot of the time. But, I close about half of them. Makes my life pretty easy.
Yes, I'm picking up the phone is definitely something I learned as well. When you pick it up, you definitely start closing a higher percentage.
Yes, sir.
And if we just want to put this in context, how much do we pay for? How much is a lead on Google?
It depends on the area. But let's just say $2 to $5.
All right, so let's say $3, right? So if I'm getting 10 leads a day, that means I'm getting about $30 worth of leads a day for free from Google. So over a 30-day period, what I'd have to spend on ads, about $1,000, we're getting that for free. About $12,000 a year is what I'd have to spend to get the leads I'm getting for free. So this is more of a long-term strategy. We've talked about this before, but just to give kind of a quick recap of how do we get free leads on Google? What do we need to do to get free leads on Google? It's not something that's going to happen right away, but this is something that if you start doing it, I've seen it within 2 to 3 weeks, you can start getting free leads from Google. Now it starts off with one every other day, and then one a day, and then a few a day, and then it kind of trickles up from there over the course of a handful of time.
God damn it.
Say it again. So what it is, it's when people are searching, everyone here has Google My Business, right? Does anyone here not have Google My Business set up?
Me and Aaron are going to die on this mountain over here on Google My Business, guys. Like, if you guys don't have it yet, you need it.
Oh, there's people that don't have it?
Yep.
Really? Fuck. Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
have that LLC to get it now most of the time. But I just want to point out, like I was talking with somebody earlier, Gabriel, actually, and we were talking about this, and I was telling him, like, look, that is your long-term play. That is going to be the most sellable asset in your business by far because it generates leads on demand for free. Like, so if you guys ever want to go and sell this business as an asset that's actually worth something, you need to build Google. Just saying.
Well, and if we take this back just a sec from the beginning, how do we make money in this business? Like, if we just want to understand the importance of it, we make money by getting people either reaching out to people during the reach out method or by people coming to us and us making offers on their items. So those are the only two things. Would anyone disagree with me on that? Those are the only two things that we can do to make money, to generate business. We have to have people we can make offers to. Now, the reach out method is good, but it's a fucking grind. Does anyone do the reach out method? It's a grind. You got to sit there, even with Chris's tool, which helps it tremendously because it sends the first message. You still got to sit there and go back and forth on people. It's a fucking grind. I've done it before many times. It's a grind. The easier way to do it is to get people to come to you because just like Chris says, he closes like 50% of the calls he picks up. It's less work. We can close what might take, it's like the stat is 1 out of like every 15 people we do the reach out method on, we might close. If people are contacting us, it might be 20% or 30%, or Chris says 50%. It's a significantly higher amount, and you're in a position of power when they're reaching out to you. It's a very good thing. So we need people that we can make offers to. Simple as that. And the more people we have, the more money we can make. I've made so far today. Let's just take a look at it. So far, and I want to compare it to everyone's numbers here. Would everyone put about how much money they made in profit in the last 7 days in this business in the chat? If you were to just take a guess about how much money in profit have you made in the last 7 days in this business? And if we pull up a document,
Mine's about $2,000 in the past 7 days.
Chris is about
And
two.
I want to throw out that is only repeat customers and Google My Business, just so you guys are aware.
Very nice.
That's it.
330. 330. Pick up item. Then.
Oh, and sending some phones to Aaron. There's some phones there.
That's Aaron's to-do list once he gets off this call. What I've seen when I've talked to people is there's a pretty strong correlation between the amount of money people make and the amount of leads people get. So yesterday I made about $1,200 in profit. Today I'm at about $475 in profit. And the day before that, I think it was $650 in profit. So I'm doing pretty good, right? Now, someone might say, Aaron, how do I do this? Would anyone here like to make $500 a day in profit? Would anyone here like to make that much? Well, one of the things we got to do is let's see how many leads Aaron's gotten. So this is Google, and this is just today. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We skipped this. 5, 6, 7, 8. So far, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've gotten 8 leads. Yesterday was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yesterday was 20 leads. 20 leads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So what do we see here? I'm getting around 20-ish leads a day from Google, which is the highest quality leads you can get to make, let's say, 500-ish a day in profit, right? Maybe a little bit more. Yesterday was, I did one pickup, I paid $170, and I made about $500 in profit on the last pickup yesterday. So that contributed to that. That was a solid win. How many leads a day are you getting? How many people are messaging you? And we can compare that to if you're not getting 20 leads a day, like let's say I did a call with someone, he was getting like 8 to 10 leads a day, and he was averaging about $4,000 a month in profit. Or about 4,000. I think it might have been actually 4 to 6 grand. I forget. Let's just say 4 to 5,000 a month in profit. So he was getting a little bit less than half the leads I was getting. Let's say 60% less leads. He was making about 60% less profit. Negotiating is important. Having the script is important. Knowing how to appraise an item and what to offer for an item is important. But what else is important is getting enough business, enough leads, enough opportunity. I like to think I'm pretty good at negotiating, right? I teach it on the program right here. If I was only getting 8 to 10 leads a day, if I was only getting 8 to 10 leads a day, I'd be making around this amount of money, and this would not be enough money for me to live on. I would have to go get a part-time job. Might have to drive for Uber. Now, to answer Don's question, Don said, how much are you spending a day on Google Ads? I'm spending only $30 a day on Google Ads. Why is it only $30 a day? Well, because as we just talked about, I'm getting about 10 leads a day for free from Google. So to supplement this, and for me to get enough leads for me to kind of hit my income goals, I only need to spend $30 a day. I'm cruising on $30 a day. The reason it's such a small dollar amount, why it's so inconsequential, why it's such a tiny number, is because I'm getting about 10 leads a day for free from Google in addition to it. If I was just getting started, I would need to be spending closer to $50 to $60 a day on ads. And by the way, when I got started in this business, I took about 2.5 years off. I moved to a new city. So that means no repeats. Got to start from the beginning. When I moved to the city that I'm in, I started spending $50 to $60 a day on ads. That's what I started. And the first day I picked up no deals. And I blew like $55 or whatever it was. The next day I picked up nothing. And I blew another fucking $50 or whatever it was and pissed off. The next day I picked up one item for like $55 profit. So I basically broke even that day. But I continued to spend that amount of money because I had faith in the program. I said, I joined this program. I'm going to have faith on what they teach me, and I'm just going to trust the process. So I continued to spend. It was actually closer to $50 to $70 a day because I was testing some ads for like Oculus Quests and MacBooks that didn't really go anywhere. But I'd say it averages out more to $50 to $60 a day. My third full month back in the business, after continuing to spend this amount, I did over $8,300 in profit. Over $8,300 in profit. Profit means after you subtract the $1,500 I spent on ads or whatever it was. Made over $8,300 in profit. Why? Because I understand the importance of getting enough at-bats, enough opportunities. It doesn't matter how bad I want this. It doesn't matter how good my negotiating is. It doesn't even matter if I have some super secret direct buyer that pays, that I can offer $10 more or $20 more than, someone else, right? None of that stuff matters at all if I'm not getting enough leads, enough opportunities. If I wanted to go and start making $1,000 a day in profit, the number one thing I'd be thinking about is what do I need to do to get about 40 leads a day? What do I need to do to just get more business? Because if more people come in, more leads, more opportunities to make offers, a percentage of people are going to cuss us out. A percentage of people won't accept it. A percentage of people will fall off for whatever reason. And then after we narrow, when we get down to all those people, we'll have the percent that accept the offer and that we buy from. And anyone here that's wondering and thinking, well, I'm in this program and I'm trying really hard and I want to make money and I'd like to be making $500 a day in profit. How many fucking leads are you getting? You could look at it. You could add it up. You could add it up over the last 3 days and divide it by 3 and see what it is. And if it's not 20 leads, that means only one of two things need to happen. Either A, we need to spend more on ads. I was spending 50 to 60. Or we got to supplement that with reach outs. We know that for about every 15-ish reach outs is one closed deal. So if someone was spending, maybe they're spending only $20 a day on ads, well, then they need to be doing about 50 reach outs a day. Maybe they up their ads to about $35 a day on ads. Well, now if you wanted to hit, let's say, we're talking $8,000, $10,000 a month in profit. Now you're doing $35 a day on ads. Now, do about 30 reach outs. And then once you're getting 50 to 60-ish a day on ads, well, then you can do some reach outs, or you generally don't need to do that many at that point to make $100,000 a year in profit. Now, I'm talking about to make six figures. I'm talking about to make $100,000 to $200,000 a year in profit. If you're in this business and you're like, Aaron, that's great for you. I only want to make 50 grand, right? I got a full-time job. I'm just looking to make an additional $1,000 a week in profit. Well, then all these numbers can be lower. You could do that on about 10 leads a day. Because at 10 leads a day, you're probably going to pick up a couple items a day doing that, maybe a little bit more. And, if the average pickup is about $80 profit, picking up 2 items a day, that's $160 profit a day. That averages out to about $1,000 a week in profit. Some parts of this business, guys, it's about learning the fancy stuff, the script, and the soft and medium and hard offers. And sometimes it's about learning when they don't accept the offer, they fall into those 4 buckets, and knowing exactly what to do depending on which bucket they fall into to move the conversation forward. Do you run them through the 3 levels? Do you skip phase 3 and go to phase 4, the 4 parts of the counteroffer? You wait an hour and send the word thoughts, or do you go right to the meetup part? Right? And everyone here has that 3-hour masterclass on negotiating. And I know everyone here is going through that multiple times, so you get really, really good at the script. Part of business, though, is just simple stuff. Sometimes it's just simple stuff. Sometimes it's literally as simple as going into Google Ads and increasing the budget another week, increasing the budget another $10 or another $20. And once the budget's increased, making the commitment to let it run for a week. Because some days are busier than others. We got to average it out, right? If someone's spending $15 a day now on Google Ads and they up it to 30, you got to give that a week. You got to just make the commitment. I'm going to spend this money, even though it might make me a little bit uncomfortable, even though I don't want to lose it. You got to let it run for a week, because some days are busier than others. There might be 2 slow days, and then you turn the ads off, and the third day was going to be the day that things started picking up and you were going to make $500, but you didn't, because you put your ad spend lower, which means you stopped the leads that were going to come in, which means you didn't get the opportunities you would have gotten. So any questions on any of that? And does this make sense? This should not be more complicated than it is. The script can take a sec to get used to. This should be very simple. Everyone here should be able to understand this. Facebook ads are great if you're in a lower city. So in Chris S., I got this directly from Chris S. because he runs everyone's ads. I don't like to run people's ads. He talks about that if the metropolitan area you're in is like $500,000 to $1 million or lower, sometimes there's just not enough search volume on Google to make Google really effective. So then you got to run Facebook ads. Google is the best, but Facebook ads are fine. When I got started in this business, when I talked about it, that 8,300 I made, most of the money I was spending was on Facebook ads. So you can definitely make it work with Facebook ads. The leads are just not as potent. They're not as motivated. You got to work it a little bit harder, but you can definitely make it work. And I know that because I think I was spending $10 a day on Google and like $40 to $50 a day on Facebook. So that 8,300 in profit that I did 3 months in, starting from the beginning, 80+% of the money I was spending came from Facebook. But now I'm kind of in the position where I'm getting the leads for free from Google now. And I've also increased the budget. For whatever reason, I was just super nervous about increasing the budget. It took me 3 months. But I said, fuck it, Aaron, you got nothing to lose. Just be prepared. I think I was spending $10 a day, and I said, just up it to 20. And if you lose the $70, whatever, Aaron, you just fucking lose it. Take the fucking chance, try it. And nothing really bad happened. I think my cost per lead went up a little bit, but it was still inconsequential. I'm still spending less than $3 per lead. Then I upped it to 30. Then I took it to 35, and now I'm at 30. But if I ever wanted to make more money, or for whatever reason something started getting slow, the first thing I would do is go in there to Google, up it from $30 a day to $40, and then $40 a day to 50.
That's right, boys. Hey, to be clear, I made my first 10 grand in profit in a month from Facebook ads alone. So, like, still doable. It just costs a little bit more now.
100%.
Like,
100%.
but well, I can't say that even. Like, Facebook leads have dropped dramatically in price. So, let's see here. I think Chris said max on Google Ads. Yeah, it is about $50 locally. Yeah, because you're capped, right? Because there's only Google Ads run based off of how many people are searching, and cost per click ads specifically. It depends on how many people are searching for that specific thing every single day, and that basically determines how many leads you're going to get. So yeah, I mean, I found that. I mean, heck, there was that one time, Aaron, you sent me a screenshot of another person that's running Google Ads in the industry. They were spending over $100 a day, right? But they obviously didn't know how to read the metrics because they were paying almost $20 a lead. That's insane. Like, and that's simply because Google is trying to compensate so that they can get their money, right? But it's heavily dependent on how many people are actually searching for that specific thing that day. But they're hyper targeted, so that's the beauty about it. But who said something? Somebody said something. It's worth it to build Google My Business. Yeah, yeah. So if you can get Google My Business to rank in the same area as EcoATM, you will murder it.
A lot of people don't know about that keyword either. Like other people in the industry, I've looked at some of their ads, and if they haven't talked to you directly, Chris, they don't know about targeting like EcoATM keywords.
Really? I feel, yeah, know what? I guess that makes sense, because whenever I first started it, I was fucking the whole thing up. Getting accounts banned left and right and everything, and honestly, like, just a little history on Google Ads, guys. It took forever to get it right. Like, it was kind of ridiculous. Like, Facebook ads in comparison was easy. It was cake. Google ads was a pain in the ass. Because number one, like, getting it up, making sure you're not going to get banned for using EcoATM keywords and a bunch of stuff like that. And then on top of that, you have to get the website right as well. Like, that's the second part of it. Like, if you don't get the website right, people aren't going to convert. So it's all, it was a whole thing. But I mean, we basically handed it to you guys now. But yeah. Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
All that sounds great. So, guys, any questions on that? And if not, we will look at some negotiating stuff. Well, let's go ahead and look at some negotiating stuff then. So let's see what we can talk about. Zoom in. I'm recording. Okay, that's good. So negotiating. You guys. All right, let's see. So let's look at some of this stuff right here. So guys, of course, this is supposed to be the negotiating call, but marketing is so important. Just had to talk about it for a second. So
go to the wins chat real quick, Aaron.
Wins. Oh, I like to see these wins.
There we go. Look at that.
Look at all that stuff. Wow, that's fucking big. Damn, that's a lot.
Spencer just went full time.
Nice. Good for him. Matt sold the MetaQuest. Dang, Matt told the
local pawn shop, baby.
Nice. Yep, hitting up those pawn shops.
Pawn shop profits if you haven't already. I'll show you guys how to get all that stuff. $575 for all of that? Jeez.
He's gonna make about $1,000. Yeah, pawn shops are great. I fucking walked into a couple locally here. One of them I picked up a couple items. This is great. This guy made about $500 spent at the pawn shop. Makes me need to swing by a pawn shop. Oh, hold on now. Well, is someone getting reviews? This is how you fucking do it right there. Aaron and his crew were very helpful. Yeah, building those reviews up. That's how you do it.
Oh yeah, Resell Deck has auto responses for reviews now, by the way, guys. That way you can never get your keywords wrong. I'm gonna scale y'all's business without your consent.
Ooh, 1,300 in profit. This business is great. I mean, there's more people making more money now in this business than ever before. When me and Chris got into this about 8 years ago, there's more people in this business now, but more people are making more profit. It's not like it got diluted. Like people are making more than ever before.
Yep.
And the reason for that is more people have more items. We have more ways to get items. We're more fine-tuned on what we're doing to get the items. And we also have strategies and tactics the other people don't have. So it allows us to stay ahead of the competition.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, let's go look at this. So let's see. So guys, let's go ahead and look at these combos and see if anybody was wanting any feedback on anything. Woo! Let's see. Very nice. So this guy closed the deal, which was great. Box. No, but I have a temper glass. Oh, okay. What's Spencer saying? I almost deviated from the script, but then I told myself follow the script, and I'm glad I did. Let's see what happened here. No, but I have a tempered glass screen protector on it that's cracked. However, the iPad itself is not damaged, nor is the camera lens been in the case its whole life. Okay, I can pay you 400 cash for it. Does that work? We, of course, whenever someone has multiple items, we like to make the offer for everything. I can give you X amount for everything. Oh no, it looks like it was just one item. I apologize. I got these confused. This was just one item. Perfect. I would like to see at least 500 since the highest quote I did find was closer to 600. So we would consider this. What would we do in this situation? We would not move to the close. We would not have to run them through the three levels. We only have to run them through the three levels if they don't give us a dollar amount of what they want. Spencer, let's see what he said. I'd like to buy your iPad, but I can't go that high. Would you do 440? So this is great. What was great about this is because the customer did not accept the offer, but they replied with a dollar amount of what they wanted, we don't have to run them through the three levels. The three levels is only if they don't accept the offer and they don't give us a dollar amount of what they want. This person did not accept the offer, but they gave us a dollar amount, so we can move right to the four level. We can move right to the phase 4 where we start negotiating. I'd like to buy your iPad, line of intent, but I can't go that high, which is a pullback. Would you do 440, a medium offer? I could do 440. Fantastic. Look at that. He stuck to the script. And not only did he stick to the script, he understood the script. I see some people, they have 80% of the script down, but they make these little mistakes. The script is all copy and paste and it's all structured. And it tells you exactly what to do depending on what the customer says. But if you deviate from it at all, or if you make a small miscalculation, which would only come from you not being very familiar with the script, that would be a mess up on your end, and that can lose the deal. It's small things that can lose the deal, and sometimes it's small things that can make the deal. So good job, Spencer. We should definitely give it a freaking man.
That's how you go full time, boys. Spencer
This is really good. Very. You did a great job. Yep, I'm very impressed. Spencer is very familiar with the script. If you're on here, Spencer, this is very good. There's people in this program that have been in it for fucking longer than you, and they're not taking it that seriously, and they don't have the script down as good as you do. That's really, really good. And I know this because I look at some of their combos. So 15 minutes away on easy, 5 minutes. I'm at the McDonald's because the Starbucks is getting remodeled. I didn't know it until there. Okay. So what we would say here is we'd want to acknowledge it. Say, no worries, comma. I'll see you at the McDonald's. Okay is not as like solid as that. I'm outside. You'll see me. I'm at the Starbucks.
I think that dude was trying to scam him.
Okay. Guess we'll just move past that then, if that's what that was. Um, let's Kevin posting something. iPhone 11 Pro Max. We've been buying those for 800 recently. Love that line.
It works. Oh,
800, come
this was
on.
me playing with Grok.
Say it again.
This was me playing with Grok AI.
Oh, bruh.
So I plugged in the stuff to it, and I started negotiating with it, which I
Nice.
recommend, by the way, guys. It's kind of fun. Like, use this stuff to practice your negotiations.
So this is an interesting question. This doesn't seem like a question about negotiating. This is a question about price. For an iPhone like this, that's 16, 512 gigabyte unlocked, I'd want to make at least $70 profit on this. So whatever, if you're selling this on eBay or to a direct buyer, I would be, if it was, my thought process was I might be able to come up a little bit, but whatever I'm going to come up after shipping, let's say it's going to be 10 bucks to ship it to the direct buyer, or you're going to sell it on eBay, whatever, I want to be at $70 in profit. And if I was selling this on eBay, probably want to shoot for closer to $80 to $100 in profit, just in case the market fluctuates and I got to lower it 10, 20 bucks. I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want to, $50 is the minimum profit per item we pick up. But if it's a little bit higher end, if we're spending a little bit more, I want to be making a little bit more than 50 bucks on that. But that's a judgment call. I guess if it's slower, you could be okay with, I guess, making $50 profit. So that'd be, I guess, 60 bucks profit because you got to pay 10 bucks to ship it to the direct buyer. But me personally, I mean, it would have to be like 70 bucks profit, maybe 65 if they drove to me. But that would be kind of like where I would be at. We are learning skills in this business, guys. We're learning first of all, you got to buy the program, which is not cheap. This is not a cheap program. Then you got to spend money on ads, which a lot of people don't have. Then you got to go through this big learning curve and all this uncertainty, and it's not one thing you got to learn. You got to learn ads, or Chris gets your ads set up, but you still got to spend money on the ads. Then you got to go through the script and get good at negotiating. And then you got to learn about all these phones and all these weird things, right? There's all these weird things, like if a screen is replaced, even though the screen is there, if it's real place and it's not a genuine Apple part, we all know that's like a big deduction. Um, it's difference between carrier locked and unlocked, blacklisted and clean, even though I buy everything as bad IMEI anyway. But we don't want to go through all these things and spend all this time to just make like $20 or $30 an item. We want to be making good money in the time that we're spending in this business. Now, if you just want to make $1,000 a week in profit, that's of course totally fine. But you're getting those 10 leads a day probably from that. It's like you don't want to be making, you don't want to be making $30 on a bunch of items. It's like we want to be making $60 here, $100 here, $75 here, $200 here. The pickups I did today, the first pickup was $205 profit. I already sold it on eBay. After shipping and eBay fees, it's $205 profit. I paid $210 for it. The next pickup was $50 each, but I was picking up two phones, so I was okay with it, and they were iPhone 15s, 50 bucks each. The next pickup was about $68. And that one right there, the final one, is about $100. So we want to be making like good money, right? Now, sometimes you get some slam dunk home runs, sometimes you don't, but that's kind of what we want to be at. We don't want to be making like just, 50, 50, 50, 50, $50 on every item we pick up. We want to be making good money. Sometimes you only make 50 bucks, and that's totally fine, but we definitely want to have some 70 profits, some hundreds, some 150, some even more, and sprinkle that in as well. So I guess let's see if there's any other combos Saturday. Ooh, one other thing I like about Kevin is in there. So Kevin is very interactive, which is always good to see. Love seeing that. All right, let's see what person did, and then maybe we'll look at some of my combos. Hello. I work for a company that purchases used electronics. If I were to pay cash as soon as possible, would you consider accepting a lower price? Throw a price. We've been buying those for 20 bucks. I can't do it for the reason of this text talks. Since it's banned, oh, we actually did this one before, so we can skip this one. Yeah. We already did this one, so never mind. We can skip this one. But yeah, that's obviously not the script. Since it's banned, our buyers, well, it's somebody else calling. Hello, it's Vegas Phones.
Hi, I have a question. Do you guys buy iPhone?
Yes, we do.
Um, would I be able to get an estimate on a price for an iPhone 16 Pro Max sealed in the box?
Of course. Let me pull that up for you. You happen to know which company it's with?
I'm pretty sure it's AT&T.
Sounds good. Give me one sec. I'm going to grab that for you right now. So we pay $630 for those.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then usually what I do in this situation is if they don't accept, usually they don't accept it at that point. So what I'll do is, because I already made a bit of a higher offer, because these are a bit more competitive, so I adjust my offer based on the item and sort of based on the market locally. I will text them and then I will say, I'll say, it was good talking to you. If you decide you want to sell the item for, X amount, feel free to let me know. I can meet you anytime with cash. And then I'll be hitting on those benefits if I'm not able to come up in price. Man, we got a lot of messages. So guys, let's go ahead and go over the script. Let's go ahead and go over part of the script. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the general rules of the script. So not necessarily like the nitty-gritty stuff, but some of the overall principles that we want to be thinking about when we are using the script. Now, let me see. Where is this? Master document. Complete negotiating guide. Perfect. View slideshow. Let's look at this right here. Let's go over this. This is some good stuff. So negotiating stuff. So what is negotiating? It's saying or messaging the right words in the right order to get people to sell us their item at a price we are wanting to pay for it, not the price the person originally wanted for the item. Basically, negotiating is words we say or message to someone to get them to change their mind on the price that they want for their item. Why negotiate and why does negotiating work? Oh, I believe there's a little hidden. Okay. What the hell? Whoop. Come on. How is that even possible? Did I just draw on the freaking screen? Okay, whatever. Let's try this again. Oops, sorry about this, guys. Let's pull this up again. Slideshow. What the heck? Whatever. This will be just fine. We'll just do it like this. So why negotiating? Us humans make decisions and change our minds about things all the time. I've had years where I would eat junk food and I would start getting fat and I'd say, tomorrow I'm going on a diet. I'm only going to eat healthy food. And I would stick to it till about 5 in the afternoon. And then I'd say, I'm just going to have one cookie. It's no big deal. And 10 minutes later, I'm at 7-Eleven buying $20 worth of junk food and stuffing my face. So us humans, we change our minds about things all the time. And a lot of times we do it to ourselves. The reason negotiating works is just like we as humans change our mind, we can talk ourselves in and out of things. We can say words to customers to get them to change their mind. All right, so that's the example Aaron gave of him being a fat ass. So this is everything you need to know to become, let's just skip this. Blah, 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 blah. This was the trailer I used to live in, by the way, when I started in this business. I was having a job, I was making $11 an hour, and I was paying less than $400 a month for rent. This thing was all messed up. There was bugs everywhere. There was part of the floor you couldn't step on because it would squeak in a little bit. The thing was all messed up. Blah, 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 blah. Started picking up items. Everything works. Let's go over some of the rules. Rules to follow. Number one is people have an attention span of 3 to 5 seconds. So we want to keep what is said texted to the point. If it takes longer than 3 seconds for someone to read, it might be too long. There's been many times I've been typing out something to a customer, and before I send it, I'll look at it, and I might delete the message and rewrite the message where instead of it being 17 words, I can get it down to 13 words while getting the same point across. This matters because if we start sending too lengthy of messages, it starts to annoy them. And this is also one of the things I see, like when I'm looking at beginners, a common mistake they'll make is they just type out too much. It's like too much to read. The person just doesn't want to read it. Now, if you follow the script has shorter messages already embedded in there, so you don't really make the mistake. That might be one of the reasons that, when I see people get the script, it improves because the script has the built-in. So let's look at this. This person says brand new seal. I said, nice. We're paying $340 for those. So you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 words. Okay, I might go with you. Let me get back to you. What time do you close? No worries. Just let me know. Around 6:37. This is like 6 words. Okay, sounds good. I live at a blah, blah, blah. I said, that's fine. Can we meet at the Panda Express? So you guys see this? It's right to the point. Everything here is right to the point. I'm sending small things. I'm not sending these big, long messages, these big, long paragraphs that are outside people's attention span and annoying them. You don't even have to use complete sentences when communicating. Z Flip 4, do you buy perfect condition? You guys have probably had this happen to you. You guys ever have a lead message you and they don't use complete sentences? Is this a complete sentence? Z Fold 4, do you buy perfect condition? That's not even a complete sentence. Sorry, just seeing this, I can give you 135 for it. So you guys see, everything here takes less than 3 to 5 seconds to read. Communicating and negotiating through text is a lot different than over the phone or in person. Any books or training you may have gone through in the past about sales or person, some of those rules will hurt you if you apply in the text. Text is about getting right to the point. No need to complicate sentences and no need to build rapport. There's an idea in sales that people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So you want to get to know the customer and develop a relationship. We do not want to do that. You guys see, I never say, how's your day going? How's the weather like? Hope you've been well. Hope you're having a good day. That would actually annoy them and hurt the sale because they're not at that investment level yet. They just want to get right to the point. Now, if you're selling a $50 million private jet, there's going to be more pleasantries. Also, pleasantries are something that more professionals use. But what we're doing, we're fucking buying their item for $80. We don't have to do any of that. Now, when you meet up with them, that's fine to do, but we're not going to do that here. Let's see. Yeah, so we just talked about that. If the way okay, we're going to skip that. We lead the conversation by asking questions in certain parts of the script. As you'll see, once we get done, the words to say in the script, pay a little attention to how we ask questions. We want to be talking at a 3rd grade reading level. If we ever say a word, so this is the 7th rule, if we ever say a word or sentence a 3rd grader cannot understand, we probably want to use a different word or a different sentence or write the sentence in another way that the 3rd grader could. Why? 21% of Americans cannot read or write. This is a statistic. 54% of adults in America, full-grown people like you and me, they have a reading and writing level at a 5th grade or below. 54%, more than half of America reads and writes at a 5th grade reading level or below. So what does that mean? The majority of the Americans don't understand fancy stuff. So we want to keep it simple, not complicated. Bad IMEI. Bad example. Send me the IMEI so I can run it on SICW to see if your phone is unlocked or blacklisted. That would completely throw them off. You say, Aaron, I need to get the IMEI though. So how do I do that? Let's use simple words. If you act like you're making a call, dial *#06#, a screen will pop up. If you could send me a pic of this screen, that would be great. So now we just use simple words, a lot more simple words than this, they get the same objective. If you do this, and if anyone doesn't know this, you could feel free to try it on your phone right now. Dial *#06#, a screen will pop up, and that screen has the IMEI in it. I think it actually has some other stuff too. It's got a barcode. Number 8, every lead we get gets an offer no matter what. Some people won't make an offer to a possible customer because they think their offer is too low and the customer won't accept it. Maybe their item's cracked or they have a not as popular item you can only pay a little amount for. Some electronic resellers think, I think my offer is low, so I won't make the offer. That way I don't have to worry about the customer rejecting the offer and my feeling rejected, and my feelings will be hurt, right? If I make the offer and they don't accept it, maybe they'll reject me and my little itty bitty feelings will be hurt. Little baby back bitch. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to fucking be professionals and we're going to make an offer to every fucking lead that we get, no matter what. The last item I picked up on the way to this group chat, I paid $30 for. I'm planning on listing it on eBay for like 150 to 180 bucks. It's a Z scanner. If you watch my story, you'll see it. $30 is what I paid for that item. Yep, every lead gets an offer no matter what. I had a guy message me, said he had ThinkPads. Those are not that popular. I made him an offer that was pretty low. I thought he would reject it, but he accepted. He ended up having 27 ThinkPads I bought from him in one day. I made about $15,000 in profit that day because I made the offer. I made an offer that was super low, guys. He accepted it. He sold me 27 of them, and I made $15,000 in fucking profit. This was about a year ago. This is the largest profit day I've had in this business. If I thought, oh, those items are not popular, and because of that, I'm going to have to make him a lowball offer, I don't think he'll accept it. I'm just not going to make the offer. I would have lost out on $15,000 in profit. Not sales, guys, fucking profit. Rule number 9, question per message. If we're asking questions, we're going to ask one question per message. Example, wrong. What item do you have and does it have any issues? If you guys want to test this out, which I don't recommend, if you want to know what item they have and if it has any issues, send that in one message. Some people will reply to both of those questions. Sometimes they'll only reply to one. The correct way to do this, what item do you have? Have them answer it and then ask your next question. Any issues with it? Then have them answer it. How quickly the customer messages you back matters. If the leader is responding quickly, we want to do our best to respond to them quickly. You have their attention. This is good. You don't want to ignore them and get back to them 4 hours later. Sometimes things come up. You might not be on your phone all the time. When I started this business, I had a 40 an hour. I was working 40 hours a week at a job and I would get off at 9 o'clock. So I couldn't respond to leads all the time. But when I could be on my phone and the lead was messaging me back fast, I did what I could to prioritize that. There's been many times if a lead is messaging me back quickly and I'm driving, I will pull over into an empty parking lot and I will message the lead back quickly because I understand the power of once I have their attention and once I have that investment, I ideally want to keep it. Again, I'm not going to do it all the time. If I'm on a date with a girl, I'm not going to fucking look at my phone. But like now when I'm working, I'm prioritizing the leads. Here we can see the timestamps to show this. He messages at 6:53, then he messages at 7:09. Hey, just seeing this. And then I send him the next thing, which is 8:02. He messaged me back 1 minute later. I messaged him back 1 minute later. You guys see that? He messaged me back quickly after I finally got around to getting back to him. I guess I was doing something. And now we're messaging back quickly. It's every, 20 seconds, 30 seconds every minute. Mirror and matching how the customer talks is also a good thing to do. If the customer's texts are long, we want our text to be a little bit longer as well. If the customer's texts are short, they don't use complex sentence. Ours should be similar. Now we continue to follow the script. We never divert from the script, but we adjust it to this type of customer. Let's look at an example. iPhone 15 Pro Max. How much? We say any issues with it. Good afternoon. I saw your phone number on Google and I would like to get a price for your phone. I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max I had for about a month. It's in great condition. I just don't like how big the screen is. What do you pay for those? Good afternoon. Thanks for reaching out. Those screens are a bit big, but we definitely buy them. I can give you $400 for it. So do you guys see this? This guy's using some pleasantries. He's talking a little bit more. So I'm using a pleasantry. Good afternoon. Thanks for reaching out. I'm making a comment. My response is not as long as his. It's about half. But in this situation, I just wouldn't want to say, I can give you $400 for it. He's kind of being warm. He's kind of talking a little bit. So I want to mirror that a bit. I don't have to mirror that all the way, but mirror that a bit. But I'm then continuing to follow the script and make the offer. This is just a general rule. It just takes time, right? My first week in this business, I made $500 in profit, right? I wouldn't expect to get started in this business and be making $10,000 your first month. In my experience, people that do everything that they're supposed to do, they follow the script, they go through the training, they're getting enough leads, whether by doing reach outs or by running ads. I haven't seen anyone get into this program, do everything we tell them to do, and on month 6 months in, a half a year in, they're not making between $4,000 to $6,000 a month in net profit. I haven't seen anyone make less than $1,000 a week, less than $4,000 a month in profit on month 6, but it takes time. There's definitely going to be a learning curve. You're probably going to make some mistakes, right? The phone's going to be unlocked. The customer says it's unlocked. You're going to buy this carrier lock. That's totally fine. It's totally fine. This gets back to running the numbers, which we just talked about earlier, which was the beginning part of this group chat. Can't expect to make any money if you're only getting 5 leads a day. I mean, you can't really do anything with that. I mean, you'll make a couple dollars, but you're not really getting anything. Also, getting perfect is not necessary either. The rules we followed just now, even me, I'll make some mistakes, but I still close deals. If you can get like 80 to 90% right, you're still going to be doing better than most people. Now, the only caveat to this is I would say certain parts of the script, you do have to get right. Like when they don't accept your offer, those 4 things that can happen, the 4 buckets they fall into, you got to get that right or you're going to lose some deals. Like that's important. But that's very simple to follow because it's all copy and paste. There's exact words that are in this script that show you which bucket they fall into, and then whichever of the 4 buckets they fall into, you use the words in that bucket to send to them. So it's not something you ever have to guess at. It's something you just go through. It's just something once you're aware of it, you just make sure you're following it exactly. So it's not like that takes a long learning curve at all. And that's, of course, in that 3-hour negotiating video. Take calculated risks. This is the final one, and then we'll do Q&A. So calculated risks are things like I've had it where I make an offer to someone. It fucking happened earlier with that Google Pixel Pro XL. I made him an offer for $210 and he accepted it. And in my head, I'm like, there's got to be something wrong with this, right? It's going to be Google locked, or it's going to be a fake phone, or it's going to be a scam because I made him a lowball offer and he accepted. But if everything checks out and they're willing to meet me in a public place, I will go meet them. And that's what I did with him. We met at the grocery store, a very public place. The phone was in like near perfect condition. It was almost like open box condition. I bought it for $210. I sold it on eBay for $499. It's already sold. It's in that box package right now. I made $205 in profit, and I paid $205 for it. So if it sounds too good to be true, I would still say go forward with it anyway, because sometimes it's not. And the last thing I want to do is lose off on a big, juicy opportunity that's big profit. The last deal I picked up yesterday, I paid $170 for 3 phones, and I'm making about $500 profit on them. So if it sounds too good to be true, as long as they're willing to, as long as there's no red flags, I would still move forward with it. I've made lots of money doing that. Hell, those good ThinkPads, $15,000 in profit. Now, if they want to meet in a back alley, no go. If they're willing to meet you at the McDonald's, but they want to meet you in the corner on the street by the van and it's dark out, that's a no go. But when they're willing to meet at the public place and they're willing to meet you inside the grocery store, inside the Walmart, inside the restaurant, wherever it is, nothing real, you're in a safe place. So guys, that's it. We got a couple minutes left. Any other last minute questions for me that I might be able to help answer for you? Good, good, good. That's what I like to see. Any other last minute questions, guys? Oh, this guy's got a Google Pixel. Any issues with it? All right, guys. Well, it was good talking to you guys. Hopefully, you guys got some value from this. We went over the importance of getting enough leads, enough opportunities to make money, and the importance of that, as simple as it is, that was important. We went over a couple combos, and we went over some of the general rules to follow when we're using the script. So we got a fair amount done. We got some good stuff done here in this hour. But your guys' time is valuable. My goal is when I have your time to provide a bunch of value to you guys. So hopefully you can learn one or multiple things from this group chat that you can apply to your business to help make you more money. Good seeing you, George, and everyone else. Thanks for saying something, George.